Right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that lunch was too tempting for some of you and that some of you are sad. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off by predominantly speaking to our online audience, and that will give me the chance to get everybody into the room as well. But first of all, it's a great pleasure to welcome you to the Cities and Federation Summit. I'm going to tell you more about that in my second part of my opening remarks. But one part of the delegation that can't be here is from China, which is one of our major centers of operation. So what I'm going to do, we have lots of partnerships in China, but hands up, does anybody know IDG? Well, the Asia version of that is ADG, as you can probably work out. And so we're just going to hear a video, which I understand when we run a video, it's quite hard to engage with. The presentation is excellent. So we're just going to run the video from our partner ADG, and that will also allow us time to get everybody back in the room. So if we can run the video, that would be great.
Hello everyone, this is Li Zhang from ADG, Asia Digital Group. So first of all, I would like to thank Dennis for this invitation to this event. And also my thanks goes to MEI for organizing this fantastic summit via the latest information technology online, gathering and bringing the sports community all over the whole world. On behalf of ADG, I would like to extend our warmest welcome to you all. Influenced by the COVID-19 pandemic during the past 2 years, the entire sports industry is looking forward to a relatively productive and prosperous 2022. The successful Beijing Winter Olympic Games has also boosted the confidence of the sports market and demonstrated 3 trends in the sports development. Now I would like to elaborate a little bit on these 3 trends. The first one is related to the science and technology. It has become a strong driving force for the development of sports, like event broadcasting, application technology innovation, digital media services, green technology, smart sports arenas, and also venues operation, XR, AR, VR, ice and snow technology, wearable equipments, sports data tracking, 8K ultra-high definition broadcast production, and etc. There are so many things nowadays that are related to the technology. And these will be the hotspots for the future development of sports. And next is the second trend. I would like to talk about this in-depth utilization of the Beijing Winter Olympic Games derivatives that stimulates the huge potential of the sports culture. The continued popularity of Bingdundun has brought more room for the imagination to the commercialization of the sports culture and tourism IP, which inspires us to further utilize the sports IP, to expand the culture and creative IP market, to actively develop IP derivatives and peripheral products as well. Also to accelerate the improvement of the IP industry chain and strengthen the protection of the intellectual property rights. And moreover, I would like to talk about the third trend that is related to people. And the Beijing Winter Olympic Games has boosted more enthusiasm for sports among people, more sports consumption, more smart devices, and green devices consumption as well. First, we do see the Beijing Winter Olympic Games has actually engaged over 300 million people in the winter sports and promoted the comprehensive progress of the development of the Chinese winter sports industry. Secondly, the in-depth implementation of the Healthy China strategy and the national fitness strategy is speeding up the sports development in China and engaging more people in sports. Thirdly, the consumption of sports equipment, new technology products, and also green products is promoted as well. Inspired by the concept of sport for all and healthy China, the sports consumption continues to expand greatly. China's sports industry presents a new diversified trend, high quality and industry integration, and has formed trillion-level market growth space. That is a brief introduction of what is going on right now in the Chinese market in terms of the development of the winter sports, and of course also of the sports as a whole as well. And next, I would like to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about ADG, Asia Digital Group, our company. We are a world-leading service platform, integrating the 4 major business lines: market research, venture management and incubator and investment, exhibition and conference, and media communication. When we are talking about these 4 business lines, we do a lot of market research. We publish the white paper and industry reports for sports every year, both in Chinese and also in English. When we are talking about the investment and venture management, we have our incubator specialized in the sports industry. We also have a couple of investment in the sports fields as well. For example, the one we are doing together with FIS regarding the popularization of the sports, especially the snow sports, and the skiing, yes, training in China. And other than that, we also have a lot of media resources. We have set up the Media Alliance, gathering the journalists and media from both China and abroad in the sports field. And last but not least, that is about our event management business line. And here, I would also like to send our invitation to you all to the events we're organizing here in China. One of the sports events is this World Winter Sports Beijing Expo. Founded in 2016, and now it has already become one of the largest events in terms of the winter sports all over the whole world. And it's going to be held at the end of September in Beijing this year. And another event is the China Sports Culture Expo and also China Sports Tourism Expo. This is the only expo hosted by the General Administration of Sports of China. And it is also a grand event in the whole world as well. And it is going to be held at the end of November in Guangzhou. And there you will meet the different sports bureaus from all over the whole China and also from the other cities all over the whole world as well. We also have gathered the sports brands, the global sports organizations, cities, manufacturers, startups, companies, and also many sports projects as well. Here, I would like to take this opportunity to extend our invitation to you all. You are warmly welcome to visit our expos on the site and also offline as well, both online and offline. And now, I would also like to conclude my presentation by the best wishes to this event. I wish this event a great success, and I'm looking forward to meeting you very soon in person in China. Thank you.
Round of applause, I think you would agree. So I hope it cemented the fact that it's always a shame not to have a part of our community here. So you've had a bit of an overview of China and a welcome to go to those expos, of which I've been certainly to one of them. And when things settle down, we will definitely be taking delegations back out there. So returning now back to the main part of the program, having had that opening welcome, I'm just going to talk to you for a couple of minutes about the style of what we're going to be achieving over the next days, and it's in sort of 5 main parts. So for those involved in the broadcast side of life, Andy, who's my enforcer in terms of time, generally the man with the bell. He's had a foghorn before and other things, but he's moderated to a bell. Andy will stand up and take you guys out into that session at the back. There is then a second session where reps from the host cities will come with myself, and we'll go to another room where the international federations will be conducting briefings. Now, before the commercial companies start saying, I want to be in those briefings with the federations, it's not aimed at you. That is on the 3rd day, where they're speaking only to the commercial companies. Might be different federations, whatever, and 2 of the federations are joining us here later anyway to give you a flavor of what they what they would normally talk about. Now, a reminder that all content is available online, so don't get too stressed if you feel you're missing out on a presentation, because the platform will be open for at least a week afterwards, and even if you want to, so you've got catch up, okay? You're registered, you can find that information. So Andy will stand up. We've just delayed things by 15 minutes because you're all enjoying lunch. So Andy will stand up and take those group out. When another session finishes in here, the host cities will go out. So the third stream is actually in this room, where there's an interesting program of content, more of that later on. And there are, for some of you that requested it, there are one-to-one meetings, and it's obviously too late to put a bespoke meetings in place now. But anybody that's got a pre-planned meeting, that will be taking place just outside the door there. And it'll be fairly obvious what's taking place. And then the bit I always love talking about is the networking side. And I was joking earlier on when Tupo said to me, I've booked a 1 hour drinks session after today. I said, Tupo, I'm Scottish, okay? There is no such thing as a 1 hour drink session in my world, okay? So that's a 2 hour session, maybe in more ways than one, tonight, to really start to get you to network in an informal setting. The name badges are color coded. Okay, and I'm not clever enough to remember which way it is. I think cities are orange. Somebody help me on the colors for the feds. Do we know what it is? What color? So it's not a my color. So you'll have to work it out, or we'll tell you. So they are, you know, you should get a clue from people's name badge. I'm sorry, I should know, and I'm not quite sure what the colors actually are. And that networking side is important during the coffee breaks, the lunch, as I said, the drinks tonight. And there's about, I think something like 108 of you sat down, 180 sat down for dinner tomorrow night in the Olympic Museum. And again, we tried to mix you up, split up groups so you're well represented across the tables. Some people have requested to sit with people. Please, if you haven't asked for that, don't do it now. Tomorrow we go to the Olympic Museum, and it is a sharp start at 8 tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's only a short walk from here, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes at best. So that's the Olympic Museum. Lots of photo opportunities there from with the Olympic symbols. It's interesting. You can visit the museum as well. But, you know, it's a really rich day of content tomorrow as well, and parallel sessions and things like that. And to answer the question, basically we roll out of that content into pre-dinner drinks and straight into the dinner. So there's no need to go away, get changed or whatever. And I think you will really enjoy that tomorrow. And then on the third day, that is in the Maison de Sport. Again, it's not a million miles away from here. And that is where there's a home, I forget exactly the numbers, but it's the home of a good number of the international federations. And people are distributed around that building. So by the time you go back, you will have really had a bit of a feel for the, you know, the sports international events estate, with the IOC headquarters just being a little bit further down the road. So you really are in the home of sport. And we thought this time it was good to give you that sort of feel for the culture and all the other things that are going on. Okay? Jokingly, internally, we call it organized chaos. Hopefully it's a bit less on the chaos, but, you know, a typical example was we had the Queen's celebration for 2 days last week, and of course yesterday was a holiday here, and well done the Blade Rig guys who hit a customs problem twice. Once they didn't have a number coming out of UK, I think it was, and then thank God to DB Schenker, could give them a mention because they got the guys to fix that, and then blow me, they arrived at the border here and they wouldn't let them over the border, which is why they've been doing a great job putting things together at the 11th hour. So we've had Brexit, we've had COVID, we've had national holidays, we've had custom border, and then some of the delegates, the head of UK Sport was planning to be here, and she just emailed me about 45 minutes ago saying, my flight's been cancelled. So there's quite a few bits. So, but the bottom line is, I want to stress that this is always designed as a small format event. And Claudio, where's Claudio? Is he hanging around in the room? He's outside probably planning me. We set Claudio an objective of asking for 20 international federations to be involved, and there are 60. So I think when you see Claudio, give him a pat on the back. That is unparalleled. I've been in this industry 20 years, right? I know I look about 24 years old, but I started young. But to deliver 60 federations actively involved with you at some time is unprecedented, okay? And these events will never be 1,000 strong. They will never be 500 strong. We are typically in the range of about 250 people because we want you to get to know each other, okay? And not everybody will be in the room the whole of the time. But in my experience, you are going to get unparalleled access to those federations. And I will talk to you very briefly later on about how we interact with those federations for the benefit of you. The second thing I just want to mention very briefly is to the cities. The cities previously turned up at what was called the International Federations Summit. It wasn't called the Cities and Federations Summit. But through our long-standing relationship with the Gold Coast, with Joel from the West Midlands, who I'll ask to wave at you in a moment, and some other cities that we've been dealing with, we realized there was a huge interest. Because to be blunt, the federations want to meet host cities to host their events, or commercial companies as partners or sponsors. Broadly, that's it. I'll tell you later on what they want from us, but that's what we want. So if you're a city rep, most of the time you only want to meet the federations to attract their events. It's nice for them to meet expert suppliers because some of you are emerging organizing. So we decided to go for the rifle shooting model, trying to put the content together, which is about connectivity, focused connectivity, which is why the program has been broken up in the way that it is. And again, to repeat for the commercial companies, which is why on the third day, you will be getting briefed by the federations with that sort of focus, okay? So I hope you feel that you're celebrating this 5th year that we've run this event. It's evolved. Clearly, we had to go online last year to deliver that via the, the Events Air platform. But this is now a major, major step up. And we will be looking for your feedback at the end because somebody said to me before, perhaps you need to remind people they are in a very privileged environment. And I hope you don't mind me being arrogant enough to say that that is what we think we've delivered for you. But you must network amongst each other, and we'll tell you more about the networking tool later on. But please remember now that you can download the app, all of which the details are in your various joining instructions, not just once. So it will tell you how to download the app, where the link is, what your unique idea is, and how to get into it. That is where the program is. That is where the list of attendees is. And later on, we'll tell you about perhaps a bit more how to use it, but enough for today. What I'd like to find, if you just put the sponsors up, there's been a good number of sponsors. Joe, would you mind just coming up and standing next to me for a moment? And the headline sponsor for the summit is Joe. Just brief say hello from the West Midlands Growth Company.
Hi everyone. Lovely to be here. Real privilege to be able to have made it through our various airport customs to arrive safely. Obviously, we're from Birmingham and West Midlands. We've got a big event happening in July, August this summer, and I really look forward to getting to meet you over the next couple of days and saying hello over a beer or two tonight. So nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. We will be hearing. And Stephen, you're going to be speaking shortly. But if you just wave a hand from the Gold Coast as one of our gold sponsors, we've got the Brisbane guys. Where the Brisbane guys? Go shout. Now you're from Brisbane Economic Development. Yes, as one of our sponsors. And finally, we've got Montreal. Where's the Canadian part? Well done to the Montreal team. Here in strength. More of that later on. And actually, I would say that all of the people mentioned on this slide, I won't go through them all, have been kind enough to support this event. And, we really do thank you for that because without being too pointed, as you can see, believe it or not, we do try and keep the ticket prices to a ridiculously low sum of money, but believe it or not, to run an event in Switzerland. And without these people supporting us, we really, really would struggle. In fact, it wouldn't happen. So a big, can we give all of our sponsors a big, there we go. And hopefully you'll be seeing more of those later on.